walaalayaal ku soo dhawaada barnaamijkii kobcinta aqoonta ee Hanoolaaot.
The topic today I want to lead you is how to make an effective presentation. Now, the presentation or having presentation skills is one of the most important skills that you can have today. When people hear normally the word presentation, some words come to mind, somehow. So I want you guys to just think about that word, presentation. Okay, just shout out, what words come to your mind?
Image.
Image?
Yeah, image.
Hey? So you're transmitting ideas, knowledge?
Speech.
Speech? Hey?
Footnotes.
Footnotes, okay. What else?
Communication.
Communication, thank you. Passing.
That's communication.
Okay, so this goes from there. Hey, what else? Okay, what kind of other emotions do we associate with presentations? Fear?
Fear.
What else? Panic. Some people actually panic. There's 4 key aspects of a presentation that if you get those 4 things to come together, you have a good presentation. But I will put them all in order, but I want you guys to guess how much percentage of the presentation actually belongs to each category, okay? So the first one is first impression. Can somebody guess the next one? Body language and words, or the content of the presentation, yeah? People have done studies into this, and obviously they study what makes a great presentation. And from that studies, various different studies over the time of years, they've come to these conclusions of different percentage for each. So in terms of the first impression, how much percentage of the presentation do you think a first impression is? How important is it?
More than half.
More than half, so you guys will say around 50. Okay, so I'll put your guesses around here, 50. Okay, what about the voice? Okay, what about the body language?
30.
30.
Plays the major roles.
Okay, so 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the content of the presentation? How important is 80? Very important. Okay, well, according to research, you've all failed the test. First impression makes up 7% of the presentations. Because you have a split of a second to make a first impression, and you can change it later. But if you're a very intelligent person, you make a joke about what's happened, then you've changed that all around, right? People won't remember it. The voice, you were half away, 38%. Okay, the body language, how much do you guys think that will be?
I think it's very important. 7? 55%.
The majority of a successful presentation is down to your body language. Some of us guys also have that problem because they wear trousers and they go around and they got their hands in their pockets. Their body language is very hostile. So what does the audience feel? I don't want to be here because you don't want to be here. I don't want to listen to you. So therefore your presentation is already completely gone, right? And then the content, which you guys said 80%, is actually only 7%, because nobody remember. You have 15 minutes of knowledge or information passed on to you. You just won't remember all of that. You remember whatever was part of the body language, part of the voice, like you said. A lot of that guy had a massive, brilliant content in his presentation, but he completely killed it because of his voice. Simple as. But what does this teach you actually? If 7% is the content, when people actually researched about this and, you know, they asked, what did you remember from this presentation? What did you find useful? Blah, blah, blah. All this research has been done. When they said it's only 7% was given to the content, what does that tell you about human beings? Barack Obama, right, said to be one of the great presenters. Does anybody remember, except for the words, yes, we can, because he kept repeating it so many times? Do you actually remember any of his policies? In other words, what is it that you actually need to work upon? If you come and you look presentable, then no matter what you can talk crap if you want to, but because you look presentable, people will say, yeah, that was a good presentation. What did she say? I don't know, but she looked good. That's what people are going to remember. She looked good enough, and she looked good, confident, or he looked confident enough to do all of this, right? Then again, these ones are then divided into sections, right? So the voice, for instance, what did we say about the voice? It needs to be high enough. And what else?
Clear.
It needs to be clear. What else? It has to go with the content. I like that. That means, Marke, the projection of the voice, the how strong it is or how low it is. What does it say about the person? If I speak in a very low, if I was to do this presentation in a very low voice, what would this say about me to you? What message would that communicate?
That's sadness.
But the simple fact is what he said. You don't believe in what you're saying.
Yeah.
But even if you don't believe, even if you had to do a presentation or something, that it's kind of hard to believe if you are, like, for instance, a scientist and you're writing something about microbiology. You can't be very, very passionate about that. But the more you can emphasize and change your voice up and down, not only on one line like that. That's one thing. If you look at the news reporters, for instance, that's a very good example. إذاعتها كل مرة dhagaysatid oo BBC ha ahaato Al Jazeera ha ahaato, what you notice about their voice? Is it one line? Is it like one constant tone?
No.
It goes up and down.
Yes.
Up and down and stuff. If you're a presenter, whether you're on TV, or if you're on radio, if you don't have a good voice, because you have nothing else to give to the people except for your voice. But so goes with everything else. If you're in front of the TV and you are sitting, most of the time you are sitting. So if now I have a space to walk around and do things, but normally you are sitting or standing on a podium. You don't have much. Even Obama, when they were analyzing his body language and his leadership skills or presentation skills, they were saying he was not actually using a lot of his body language. But what was he captivating the audience with?
Voice.
His voice, because he was going passionate about, and then he was going down, and he was going, and you kind of follow this, you know what I mean?
Kachira